Got you, brother.
Got you, man.
So how am I gonna hear?
Today we have a special guest, a friend I've known for many years, and it's a pleasure to have him. I have seen him perform many of venues, but I do remember those humble beginnings, because we all came from that area, Richmond, with a lot of talented musicians, a lot of talented influences. He's no stranger to you, Bill. You've been knowing him for quite a while as well, haven't you?
Absolutely, and proud to say I know this brother, and as the people always say, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So I'm just hoping that he knows me.
Well, without any further introduction, we'll find out if he really knows you. Ras Mel.
Hey, Bill Cosby, I'm really glad that you made it today. I'm sorry you was in prison for...
No,
sorry.
Wrong Bill, baby.
Wrong Bill.
Wrong Bill.
McGee.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Charlie man.
Yes, man.
Yes, Charles man.
Ras Mel, first, one of the questions we always want to know is, when did you first start playing music?
Nat Lee, cat named Bobby Kirksey, and Peter Gray. All of us lived across the street from Al Bolin, the trumpet player.
Okay.
And I think Christmas of '64, we got guitars. And Nat Lee's father used to be a drummer when he lived out in Pittsburgh, Dr. Lee. And so Nat Lee played drums, and we had 3 guitars and drums, and we called ourselves the Page Boys. We were in, Amelia Street Elementary School.
Wow.
And then we carried that on through Randolph Middle School. We had in the Debo over there. Debo played trumpet in the school band. West End.
All right.
Way, Trumpet lived down the street. You know, we played football with him.
Okay. All right. Did you ever play in the band at the school?
No, I was street educated. I lived in a place called Skyview Terrace right across the street from Amelia Elementary. And on Rosewood Avenue was where the Morris family lived. And I had a house Monday through Friday. Andrew and John were the oldest 2 brothers. So by the time I got to the house, they were getting ready to go to work. So they'd sit me down. They had 2 of these jazz boxes. One was a Tal Barlow guitar Gibson.
Wow.
The other one was ES-175 Gibson. They'd give me the guitar and they'd play something, and then he'd play. Yeah, play one of these, play one of those. So
Street.
So you were coached by Andrew and John Morris?
Yeah. After they go to work, then Walter Lee and Geraldine would come home from school, and Charlie would come home. So after all 5 of them finished with me, then I go on home.
See, he just tied in that information. One of them things we needed, because when I was asking somebody earlier, you had told me about John Morris, but nobody mentioned Andrew. So, but I knew there were 5 boys that all of them played guitar, and then Miss Geraldine.
But one boy died. The youngest brother died drowned in Swan Lake over in Bird Park.
Wow. Okay. So you was raised up by the Morris brothers and Geraldine.
He didn't have to go anywhere else. That's the environment.
Here goes my Geraldine story. The band I played with in high school. Well, my family moved to Northside. And so I had a Rickenbacker John Lennon guitar then. And we were going to play for Patti LaBelle at the Ebony Island. We were her backup band. A guy named Rudy Pitchford on bass, John Henry Miller, Moon on tenor. And I can't remember who else was in the band, but we were going to back up Patti LaBelle. Saturday, I was at the Morris house. And Geraldine said, "You playing behind Patti LaBelle?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "You not using that guitar." She had a brand new, I call it a BB King 335 Gibson. She had a brand new one with a chestnut finish on it.
Wow.
And she gave me her guitar. And so I come to the club with this Gibson. I never did open the case. And when my bandmate saw me, he was like, "Damn, Mel, what you got?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I got a real guitar, man." And I opened the case, and Geraldine used the case for her suitcase, where she would lay her stage dress on top of the top of the guitar. So when you open up the case, the first thing you see is Geraldine's dress. I'm going, "Oh Lord." I'm like, "Man, this is my sister's guitar." Okay, so after the show, I'm upstairs, I'm putting the guitar away, and Patty and the Bluebells, they come up in the dressing room. And then Patty go like, "Boy, you're a handsome young man, ain't you? You cute." And then they started circling around me. And I'm new, I don't know what's going on. They getting ready to baptize me, you know? And then this boy said, "Yeah, that's my brother, and he's going home right now." And Geraldine come up the steps behind him.
If you were in the company of the Morris family as your instructors, that gave you a lot of foundation in itself. You didn't need anything else.
Who was the group you were with before AAE?
Lou Kelsaw, Chapter 7. All of us work for Dynamics Entertainment, Joe Carter on North Avenue.
So it was Chapter 7? And who?
Yeah.
So from Chapter 7 you went to AAE?
Chapter 7 to Plunky to AAE.
Chapter 7 to Plunky. Maybe it was Chapter 7 then.
Yeah,
And Lou was doing the lead vocals.
Lou Kelsaw.
Lou and Tommy, yeah.
Lil Tommy, right.
No, not Lil Tommy.
Not
Lil Tommy.
Okay.
Tommy Coleman.
Okay, Tommy Coleman, right. That's a classic picture, man.
That's a classic picture, yeah.
Yeah. So these pictures that Charles is showing, man, they make you look like a wise old sage, man. You look like you could go to India and become an icon or something. They look like.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And one time I was in Lebanon, and they was trying to figure out whose imam I was.
Yeah, I know. I can believe it. It was trying to elevate you to some position of hierarchy. So we need to know how far down we bow. How much deference we give to you. Are you the real deal or almost the real deal?
I don't know what location this is, but Mel, this looks almost like the place that I saw you here in Dallas, that club. I don't know what the name of the club was, but nonetheless, last time you were here in Dallas.
Down the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Club down the bottom district.
You're right in the bottom district, that's right. And this looks like it might have been taken in that facility, because that's kind of what the stage looked like. When did you start playing with the Rails?
I played with Eddie Grant from '99 to Y2K, and then I started with the Wailers from '01 to 2017.
Third World was ahead of its time. They were serving organic food, sandwiches with sprouts and all kind of organic bread, fruit smoothies, all of that stuff, man.
It was a leader in the fan district as far as cafe goes.
In the middle of the 70s, though, man. I mean,
that's
way
right.
Back. Well, your senior year of high school, who were you playing with?
I was playing with Rudy Pitchford and John Moon Miller on tenor.
Okay.
Rudy Pitchford played bass.
Okay.
And that's the group that played behind Patti LaBelle, Jerry Butler.
Okay.
And,
So y'all doing that backup thing.
Yeah. Moon and I, John Miller, both of us went to the jazz workshop at what was then Hampton Institute, Hampton University.
Okay. Is John still alive?
Program. No, Moon died over 10, 12 years ago.
Okay. So y'all got down to Hampton and started learning putting some school knowledge behind some of that street knowledge.
Right. Now Moon had played in
school bands, right?
So he could read and write the whole thing. You know?
Where did he go to school? John Marshall?
High school did John Marshall, yeah. Yep.
What was Tuscan Jasper the band director? Who was the band director?
No, we had a military marching band. We didn't have no band.
The Justices, right?
Yeah, and we were coming in.
Y'all were still getting through that integration thing, right?
Yeah. My class was the second wave of integration. John and I went to Hampton Institute for that summer,
right?
And we thought that the jazz workshop was kids like us. And we come in. The teacher ended up being my mentor for the 4 years I was in Hampton. 5 years I was in Hampton. Consuela Lee Moorhead.
Okay. Consuela Lee Moorhead?
Piano player. Now, her brother, she comes from a musical family out of Alabama.
Okay.
And her family had established a music school in the backwoods of Alabama. And it ended up being Lloyd Ricks was not teaching the class, he was in the class.
Whoa.
Mrs. Moorhead was the teacher. And then Joe Jones, the organ player from Tidewater that went up to New York. Philippe Fields was in the class.
Philippe, my man, the sax player.
Yeah. Everybody in there was older than us. You know?
And all of Joe. When you say Joe Jones, Joe Jones is so well respected that one of my boys from Hampton just talks about Joe Jones like he was the man, piano keyboard player.
And that's with a capital P, H, and an E.
Yeah, he was the man from what I understand.
Right.
Yes, sir. And so that summer, for me, I didn't know. I had a Wes Montgomery book that Wes had put out around 1967 before he died.
Yeah.
And I couldn't read the notation, but it had chord diagrams on it, you know?
Right.
So I was able to learn my chords between. When I was in high school on Saturday, I'd go over to the Morris house. It's time for me to do whatever I had to do, or they had to go gig. So when I got to Miss Moorhead, she said something like, "Well, Melvin, play C major 7." And I go, "You want that one? You want that one? You want that one? You want that one? You want that one?" She said, "Okay."
Inverted all kind of ways.
And she said, "I play a G7. I said, "You want that one? That one? That one? That one? That one? That one? That one?" And she said, "Yeah. Okay, now to the C major 7. What's the formula?" I said, "Huh?" Formula? Yeah. And from that point on, she said, "Yeah, I'm taking this one under my wing."
Okay.
So that summer, part of the class was we had to go to every day of the festival and write a report. So I got to see Miles Davis,
yes,
Herbie Hancock,
yes,
Nina Simone, Cannonball Adderley,
yes, sir,
the George Benson Trio. That was with Cannonball and Joe Zawinul.
All right.
And I couldn't stand Joe Zawinul, man, because by then they had Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
Yeah.
And I was used to, like, Cannonball and them doing stuff like.
Oh yeah,
That's what I wanted to hear Cannonball do.
yeah.
Then they'll do da 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 da.
You said they done sold out. You saw they sold out,
They
didn't
done sold out. But no, see, Benson back then had the album Cookbook.
Right.
So, that was with a baritone saxophone, Dr. Lonnie Smith.
Yeah,
that
just passed away.
Just passed away, yeah. So I be looking at new folks. Side story, about 2 years ago, before COVID, Benson had a tour of of Europe, and it started off at Royal something concert hall in London.
Right.
And he got laryngitis. And so they came out and they played some instrumentals, and then he tried to sing, couldn't do it. The place is sold out, and people started booing him. So they went back to playing instrumentals, And I'm like, I'd rather hear the man play instrumentals than to hear him sing.
Ras Mel is doing the 5-year plan that I just told you about.
Yeah,
He left here in 69. He really didn't come back to 72, 73 when they started doing Chapter 7.
Yeah, I came back and I got a 9 to 5 working for Virginia Employment Commission downtown.
Okay.
Right.
And I remember looking out the window after about 3-4 months there, going like, life got to be more than this.
Got to be more than this.
And
So how'd you get with Chapter 7?
Moon used to come by my house in Northside because his mom lived in Washington Park. I lived on Montrose Avenue above Ladies Mile Road. And
This is Moon, the saxophone player you had played with before.
Right, John Miller. Then so I said, who you play for? I said, I don't play for nobody, man. I got a little job. And he said, well, I'd like to hire you. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then I started working with Chapter 7. And
Very good.
that's the time I met Billy now. And you, Charles, because all of us worked for Joe Carter and Cephas. And they had Chapter 7, they had Smoke Starfire, they had Poison, they had Ujima, Anglo-Saxon Ground.
Right.
And Trussell.
And that little group called Trussell, that's right.
Yep.
Little group. Yeah.
So after Chapter 7, because Chapter 7 basically broke up.
Yeah, due to Joe Carter.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, Joe Carter did some whack stuff, and the band just disintegrated right there. So I was walking around, and a girl I knew from Hampton Institute, I saw her downtown somewhere. And she said, well, what you doing? You still play guitar? And I'm like, yeah. She said, well, look, you ever heard of Plunky and Oneness of Juju? And I said, well, Plunky from the West End. I knew Plunky since I was a kid. Well, I'm going to go talk to them because they could use a guitar.
Wow.
And
You remember who the girl was?
Nah, I remember her boyfriend was the original keyboard player for Juju. Because Plunky went to Columbia University and then he went to San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco, right.
And in San Francisco is where they formed the band Oneness of Juju.
Right.
And then they migrated back to New York and played Soho and all the clubs in New York, and then they migrated to Richmond.
Right.
So her boyfriend was a guy named Rasul.
Rasul, that's right, Rasul.
I listened to 2 of the Juju albums and his playing. I was like, yeah, I'd like to get with that guy. Yeah. And she's my friend's boyfriend. Oh, yeah. I'm going to learn some stuff. So I got a call from Plunky, and I think I was living in Ettrick at that point, around the corner, down the street from Virginia State. And, excuse me, Plunky called and said, yeah, well, I need to ride to rehearsal, so he drove out there. brought me back to rehearsal. A guy named Lon Marcy.
Lon Moshe, right, Moshe.
On the vibes.
Vibraphonist, right.
Yeah, Muzi was on the bass.
Right.
A guy named Ronnie Toller was on drums, and Lady Ikate was the singer.
Lady Ikate.
And Plunky on sax.
Right.
And I'm sitting at rehearsal, I'm waiting for Rasul to come in, you know? And so I finally said, well, Plunky, where's Rasul? He quit and moved back to L.A. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
man.
Oh.
So the rest is that, you know, I'm the only chordal instrument. Going at I've never done this before. So that was the Juju years. I think I did three albums with Punky then. You know?
Yeah.
But we were working for I can't remember the booking agency out of DC. And he had Hugh Masekela.
Right.
So that was the crowd we were running in. One night we played, I think it was Morgan. And Juju opened up, and I was walking back to the dressing room. Roy Ayers comes out of his dressing room. He says, look, you just finished playing, man. I said, yeah. He said, well, here's my card, and in a couple of weeks we'd be holding auditions for guitar if you're interested, you know. I'd like you to come on up. I was like, audition? That don't sound like New York. No. But my grandparents lived in New York, so I got to be homeless, you know.
Right.
And as soon as I passed his dressing room, saxophone player named Gary Bartz.
Gary Bartz, yeah.
Gary Bartz, yeah, played with Miles.
Yeah. Famous.
And his list just goes on. Gary came out, he said, yo, man, I want you to play in my band. He didn't say nothing about no audition. He said, I want you to play in my band, you know?
Right.
And I was like, well, but I play for Punky, man. I'm a team player. I just ain't going to jump ships like that.
Right.
You know? So I stayed with Punky, you know?
But you had some offers.
Yeah. And let's see.
How old were you then, you think?
That was in the 70s. I was like 20...
22, 23.
Yeah, 25.
23, right, somewhere up there.
Eventually, Nat Lee came into the band. Then Debo came in on piano.
Okay.
Because I think Poison had broke up by then. So, yeah, I was with Punky about 5 years span, 6 years span. And AAE was forming.
Okay.
So I was kind of like rehearsing AAE, performing with Punky, and then AAE get a job. And so I was playing in 2 bands. And we did a thing with Punky, man. We was Jackie McLean's band. Pharoah Saunders, we played behind him. Those were like scary moments. I'm like, Pharoah Saunders, Jackie McLean. And I was like, well, we're going to play behind Jackie McLean. He's like Charlie Parker on steroids. And Jackie looked at me and said, don't worry, I'm going to play what y'all play. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is the one I wanted to give y'all in Hampton. I went to New Jersey, Willingboro, New Jersey for the summer. End of my sophomore year with one of my frat brothers. And 4 of us went up. And after the second day, the brother we went home with, his mom said, well, y'all ain't just going to sit around the house. And it was an elder couple that lived across the street that had introduced himself to us and vice versa. And the guy said, well, you the one she said play guitar. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, okay. He took me over his house, and his family room was wall-to-wall records. And he said, she says you love jazz. I said, yeah, I do. And he said, okay, look, go through the library and listen to whatever you want as long as you want. And I'm like, wow, cool. And one day they said, "What you doing tomorrow night?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Well, look, there's a club in Newark. I want you to take your guitar to Newark, and I already told the band leader about you. So you just go to the club." So my boys took me to the club and left. I think we played something like 8 to 10, and the boys got back at 10:30 to take me home. So when I got there, the band had finished setting up. It was a organ player, a tenor saxophone player, and a drummer. And so the sax player was the leader. He looked at me and said, "You the guitar player they told me about." I was like, yeah. Then I said, "Come." He said, "Pull your axe out and come on play." I didn't have an amp. So I'm sitting in front of the organ player, and I'm just chunking away. And the sax player turned around, looked at me. He took his mic. You know how y'all playing that into the mic about waist high. He moved the mic in front of the guitar so sound coming out the F holes would go into the sound system. Then we played the first set. Then the guy, we take a break. And it's me and the sax player sitting at the booth, and he said, "You drink?" I'm like, "Man, I'm in college." Yeah, I drink. He said, "Well, what you want?" I said, "I have whatever you have." The waitress came, he said, like, "Give me a double shot of vodka with 1 cube of ice," and get him the same thing. So he starts talking to me. He said, "What school you in?" "Now, what school you out of?" And I said, "School? I go to Hampton Institute, Hampton, Virginia." He said, "Nah, man, what school are you in?" I said, "Hampton Institute, Hampton, Virginia." He said, "No, man, you in cool, swing, bebop?"
Right.
What school you in?" I'm like, "Oh, I never heard of West Montgomery." He said, "Okay, all right, let's go and do the second set." So we played the second set, and then at the end he said, "Look, I want you to join the band." I was like, "Yeah? Okay." He said, "I want you to come back here tomorrow night, Sunday night. We're going to do 2 more shows, and then we'll go from there." I was like, "All right, cool." The saxophone player was Sonny Stitt. The organ player was Don Patterson.
Wow.
Oh!
My boys picked me up, and I think I was 19 going on.
And who's the drummer?
I got no idea.
Oh, okay, but so this was Sonny Stitt telling you he wanted you to come play with him.
Yep. So
Look
my
out,
boys
bro.
come pick me up.
And you're 19 years old.
Yep. My boys come pick me up, and we're going back home. And I'm like, how am I going to tell my parents I'm dropping out of college?
And gonna go
I'm
play
staying
jazz.
in New Jersey, and I ain't coming back to Richmond. Jersey.
There's George Benson.
Oh, yeah,
Inglewood
man.
Cliffs, all them cats.
Yeah.
Because Benson lived in that place where Live Records used to have a studio up there.
Right. Creed Taylor up there, Inglewood Cliffs, Teaneck.
Yeah, Inglewood Cliffs.
Inglewood
West used
Cliffs,
to
right.
record there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rudy Van Gelder's studio, Hugo and Luigi's studio, and there was one other studio up that way. But Van Gelder
was the one where West used to go to all the time.
Yeah, Rudy Van Gelder, right. Creed Taylor and them, all the CTI stuff was done up there. Hey, look, hey, we're going to have to continue this talk. We got to cut it off.
Yeah. But Mel,
Ras Mel, we going to continue this, and we're going to get you
on camera. On camera.
Okay. All right, sound like we're on.
All right.
We definitely got to do this again. My brother, I sure appreciate the opportunity to talk to you again.
Sorry later. All right.
You take care, man.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man.
All right.